Welcome to Throwforward Thursday, where we jump into the future and see what's going on there. My name is Graham Codrington, and a few weeks ago, we had a look at the 100-year life, and I even sneakily suggested that we might even have access to a 1,000-year life, given some of the work that's being done on aging. Well, I want to come back to that thought of what does it mean if life expectancy, if longevity is dramatically increased. And I think one of the implications, and this is our theme in this week's Throwforward Thursday, is that we're going to have to change how we think and talk about death. I don't mean this in a morbid way. Obviously, we are designed to fight for life. People don't give up their lives easily. And I don't think we talk and think enough about death, but everybody dies in the end. And it is a natural part of life. But if we are able to extend our lives significantly, we might reach a stage where we have to give people the choice of whether they want to extend or end their lives. Of course, at the moment we do that through living wills, which is somebody saying, if I am dying, I don't want to be resuscitated. Even if we have the skills, the medicine, the medical technologies to resuscitate somebody who is moving rapidly towards death, some people choose to say, I don't want that to happen, so-called living will. And that's one thing we already do. But what happens if we are able to extend life dramatically? Do you allow somebody who is otherwise healthy, who is otherwise living well, but maybe they've just had their 100th birthday and they're living a reasonably good life, but they think, I'm done, I'm finished, this is it, I've had a good one and I want this life to be over. I'm not talking about suicide, because that's the word we'd use right now. I'm not even talking about assisted dying, which is somebody who's already on the process of dying. Although, and this is part of the conversation, we're all always in the process of dying. It's the nature of life. When does a flower that you've taken and put in a vase, when does it die? Is it when it looks dead, or is it when you've cut that stem? A week or two ago, it can look alive, but it is dying. Anyway, now maybe that is a little bit morbid, but I think we're going to have a conversation where we become more comfortable in people saying, I've lived a good life and I'd like it to be over now. If we jump into the future, I think we'll discover those conversations are easier to have. I'll tell you why. Because if we jump into the past, we realize we've had this conversation before. Was it 55, 60 years ago that the contraceptive pill for women was introduced? And there was a massive debate, especially in religious circles, about whether this was women being allowed to play God. As a Generation Xer myself, I'm in my 50th year, I'm the first generation, I am from the first generation that women could take a pill not to have, could have that contraception easily available to them. It's changed the world that we've been able to control family sizes and control births that way. But in fact, the Catholic Church and others still have debates around whether they should even be allowed access to contraception, because apparently it's playing God. We should have the same conversation about how to end life. And I think, as I say, in our throw forward to the future, we'll find that we're a lot more comfortable about living longer, living younger longer, and ending life on our own terms, rather than just when everything collapses around us in our bodies. Right, I don't think that was morbid. I didn't intend it to be morbid. I intended it to be a celebration of life and everything that is part of life, which is also how we do the end of it. Throw Forward Thursday. A look into the future every Thursday. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get reminded to come and check into the studio every Thursday afternoon. If you're listening on the Future of Work podcast, make sure that you subscribe and rate us, please, on your favorite podcast platform. We always appreciate that. Otherwise, I will see you next week in the Throw Forward Thursday studio.